All right, we're going to continue with the Pythagorean theorem. However, the first video had us solving for a leg, and in this case, we're going to solve for the hypotenuse. Number one, draw the triangle and label the side lengths. Mark the unknown side with an A, B, or C. So let's copy this diagram to the best of our abilities. Again, as I've hinted earlier, that typically the biggest problem that kids have when they're dealing with the Pythagorean theorem is making sure they label the sides appropriately. So first things first, notice that this is the right angle, and I have a side length of 6 and a side length of 7. Using the notes we started with, the sides that make the right angle are yellow, and these are called legs. I'm just going to use the same thing. So that's yellow, and that's yellow. So I've got a 7 and a 6. All right. Now the side that I don't have is going to be this side way over here. A side, it's going to be specifically across from the right angle. So notice when I come in this direction, and the side that's across from the right angle, again, that's going to be our hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse, if you remember over here, that's your C value. So I'm going to mark this as A, I'm going to mark this as B, and I'm going to mark this as C, and that's my unknown. So starting with the Pythagorean theorem, I'm going to write a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. And in this case, I said that a is equal to 6, so I'm going to put 6 squared plus my b value is 7 squared, and all of that should be equal to a c squared. Now again, we're going to solve for c squared in just a moment. So 6 squared is 6 times 6, which is 36. 7 squared is 7 times 7, which is 49. And that should again be equal to c squared. Now we're going to have to add these together. Again, with any of these add, subtract, multiply, or divide, if you're having calculation issues, use the calculator. So 36 and 49 is 85, is equal to c squared. And then to get rid of a square, the inverse that will undo it would be to square root both sides. Again, I want to remind you that you can have a positive and negative root, but since we're dealing with measurement, all I really want is the positive value. So let's see, at this point, my C is going to be equal to root 85. All right, so we're going to punch in, let's see, square root 85. And that's going to give me 9.21. So that's an approximation. So I'm going to put 9.21 ... Please remember that when this number right here is not a perfect square, that this is going to continue forever and ever and ever, and there's not going to be a pattern. That's why this is irrational. Now, every once in a while, you'll get something that's really nice, like 9 or 16 or 25, and it simplifies to an integer, but don't worry, the calculator will do the work for you. So in this case, we're rounding to the nearest tenth. That's what the instructions said. So I'm going to circle the 2 in the 10th spot. Look to the right, that's a 1, so that's going to simplify to 9.2. That's actually going to round down. So I'm going to put 9.2, and then that's going to change to a squiggly equal, which means approximately equal to. So c squared is 9.2. And again, just a quick reminder, when you're solving for the hypotenuse, it should always be the longest side. So obviously 9.2 is larger than 6 and larger than 7. So that's kind of a good check to do to make sure you didn't make a silly mistake.